Hey, everybody. You are tuned into Uptown with Mona, your go to show for everything poetry, hip hop, and entertainment. I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and we've got a dope show for you today. So sit back, relax, and let's get this party started right. Hello, 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 hello. What is going on, everybody? It's your girl, Mona B. Whew, I can't wait for Mondays to get here because I get to sit with a new guest every week, and I get to just get to really know people that I know on a different level. If you understand what I'm saying. So, first of all, let me say I want to welcome everybody to Uptown with Mona. We meet every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And again on Thursday at 6 p.m. on withoutwarningradio.com. And if you'd like to donate to Uptown with Mona, my Cash App is Uptown with Mona. And if you have any interesting story that you may want to talk about, be interviewed by me, hit me up on uptownwithmona at gmail.com. Also, oh my God, December 16th, 2024, at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue at 7 p.m., The Naughty List. It's a Mocha Lounge reunion, and oof, it's going to be hot. We're going to have a night of poetry and adult games and hijinks and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. So keep following me. Look on my page, the Eventbrite page. Get your tickets early because I'm telling you, the tickets are already selling and it's going fast. And we're going to have a ball. And if you've ever been to Mocha Lounge, you already know. You know what it is. Because remember, what happens at Mocha stays at Mocha. So, but now it's whatever happens at Comedy in Harlem, it stays at Comedy in Harlem. It's going to be fun. So now here we go. Tonight, I have to tell you about this woman. I was going to say this chick because I'm from the Bronx and I talk this chick, but this woman, the dopest poet. She's very sensual. She's very sweet. She's very, she's not like me. She's calm. She ain't all over the place. She's very calm and she's a queen. This is my homegirl. She's such a queen. So I want to bring in Empress the poet because I need to know more about Miss Poet. I need to know more about her. Girl, I am so happy to see you. How you
Thank you, sis.
how you doing, mama?
I'm good, sis. I'm good. How
Happy
are you?
birthday. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Yes,
It's my
yes.
year of it's my year of 50 fun.
How
It's my
about that?
51st birthday.
How about that?
Hmm
Congratulations. I hope you're
Thank you, my
having I
love.
hope you're enjoying it to the fullest.
I am. I'm having experiences.
Okay.
Some of them are very surprising, but for the most part, I'm enjoying life as it comes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it gets better. The older you get, it gets better, girl. It can only get better from here. I'm
That's what I
telling you.
say.
Hmm. So I like to ask my guests the first question. It's not the first questions. I always ask my guests before we get started. How was your day? Well, we already know how your day is going. You're enjoying your birthday. I think that's so amazing. This is dope. This is very dope. Yeah. So
I'm still in celebration mode. So today my family is downstairs currently surprising me.
mhm. Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
nice.
so
It's so
but you
nice.
came first, so I said let me do this and then I'll go
Oh,
downstairs and enjoy the celebration after that.
girl, I am so honored to have you here with me. So now it's 16 questions and we call it
Yay.
16 bars. Okay. So let's get to the first question. All right. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay. The origin story. Can you share a story of how you first got into poetry and what inspired you to become a poet?
Oh, that's easy. Homework.
Mm-hmm.
It was a homework assignment
Mm-hmm.
and I had to write. So I'm from the island of Barbados. You know,
Mm-hmm.
other people call it Rihanna though. And I had a homework assignment, and I had to do a synopsis of a local poet there, Edward Carmel Brathwaite. So in his latter years, he only wanted to be known as Carmel Brathwaite because he wanted to drop the plantation name.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this synopsis, and then I had to write the second part of the homework assignment was then to write my version of the poem. And um, I got the highest grade in class, and then it became a piece that my teacher entered in a national competition. And from there, yeah, my
Mm.
pen's just been, I just been kissing my pen ever since, I guess.
I'm telling you, because your poetry, hopefully, maybe by the end of the show, maybe you'll get to do. I'll let you, if you can or want to, you can spit something small, a little short
You know,
piece.
whatever you ask, your wish is my command.
Oh, I love you, girl. So, all right. So now here we go. Question two.
Hmm.
Cultural influences. How has your cultural background influenced your work? And are there specific traditions or stories that you draw from in your poetry?
Okay, so I mentioned Carmel Brathwaite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's another poet, Winston Farrow, still from Barbados. He's a Barbadian poet, and then there's a Calypsonian named the Mighty Gabby. And those are my three cultural influences.
Uh-huh.
Um, my international influences, however, would be Maya Angelou, Sonia
Yes.
Sanchez, you
Yes.
know, and the likes of you,
Uh-huh. Thank
you know,
you.
which gives me a balance of that spicy Caribbean flavor,
Mm-hmm.
and then that so like for me, I think Maya Angelou and the Sonia Sanchez and them, they have like this sultry vibe, you know,
Yes.
that goes along with the powerful word that they drop. And
Yes.
so that coupled with some Caribbean spice, and that's Empress poetry.
Yes. Yes. I understand that because my favorite poet is Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni,
Nikki
and
Giovanni,
Nick
yes.
Giovanni is my favorite. Her and Michelle Andiocello. Ooh,
Mhm.
I
Mm.
write.
Yeah.
I
You,
started writing behind Michelle Andiocello and Nikki
mm.
Giovanni.
Now that's powerful.
Yes. And I've been, I don't know if you ever hear some of my poetry. I kind of my flavor is kind of like Nikki or Michelle.
So I've definitely caught some Nikki on you.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely caught some Nikki on you. Like I know there's certain times that I do certain poems and people are like, "Oh, I could tell Maya Angelou was your influence." I'm like, I don't know how, but
Yeah.
she is. You know, she is. I just don't know how they can figure it out because I still don't think I've tapped into everything Maya.
Yes. Yeah,
You
Maya
know, so
Angelou's cool. I like Maya Angelou. I love poetry, period. It don't even matter. You could write a roses are red, violets are blue kind of poem, and I would still love it anyway. But I have I have quite a few books of Nikki Giovanni, and she has this one poem. Damn, I should have brought it with me. I could have, I can't even remember the name of the poem, but the poem
mm,
is just the dopest piece out of her whole book. And I can't remember it right now, but I read that poem. And then one day I'm listening to Michelle and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. This is what I'm about to do, so.
so the other influence, how dare I forget Khalil Gibran? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
like that's like the whipped cream on top of the Mayas and the
Yes,
and the
absolutely.
Caribbean. Yeah, because he for me, I have never read I've never read another collection that taps into me as a mother, as a poet, as a human, as a like some things just like isolate
Right.
certain parts of you.
Yes.
The prophet, the prophet just encapsulated me as a woman, and he's a man. So for him to
Yes.
capture me like that was like, whoo, girl, that book. I still go back to that book.
Yes. Yes. That's a dope book. I have that book somewhere. I think my granddaughter might have that book because I think my granddaughter's kind of starting to tap into that too, and I hope so.
Mm,
I hope so.
hey,
Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be
let it
great.
continue. let it
Yep.
continue. Like my favorite piece in that book is the piece, I think it's titled The Children,
Uh-huh.
where like that was the first time I realized that my daughter is not mine. She was loaned to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it took his
Yes.
poem. Like I know there's scriptures that say pretty much the same thing, you know what I mean? But that
Mm-hmm.
poem like really hit home. Like you better do what you're supposed to do with that gift.
Hello. Yep. Hello. We could talk. We could even skip
Now
all this
you
because
know
it's
we
talking about
can.
all this, right? You know. But let me get to the next question.
Yes.
The creative process. What does your creative process look like? Do you have certain rituals or routines that'll help you get into the flow of writing? I know that's right. And the other thing, right? And the other thing.
The upper thing, right? But no, seriously, to be honest with you, like that's my when I say, okay, Empress, we gonna go right? So let's pour us a glass of wine, let's light a candle, let's put some nice jazz on or something like that, and let's write. But a lot of times, I be sitting on the bus, sis,
Hmm.
and something comes to me, and
Hmm.
I get in my phone or I write it on a piece of paper, or I've sat in bars
Hmm.
and on dates and written
Really?
poetry that had
Wait a
nothing to,
minute.
had nothing to do with the date, girl. Yes, it was that bad. Yes,
The date must have been really
terrible,
horrible.
terrible. I had to write something about it, and I had to make sure that I remembered everything. So I sat with my pen on the tissue, and I wrote. So I've done that. So my creative process is whenever the spirit says right. It's like, some people say the spirit tells you shake till you stop shake. Some
Yeah.
people in cooking, they shake till the ancestors they stop.
Hmm.
I think that's what happens with my pen. I write. That's what
Wow.
happens. It just happens.
Hmm. Have I done that? No, but I will jot down little notes.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
little short sentences. So like, okay, I'll
I'll
get
tell
back
you
to that
crazy
later.
stuff. Like some of my most impactful poems in the recent years have started out as statuses on social media,
Mm-hmm. Me too.
and then I ended up by the time when I was done, I just snatch it off. I cut
Did you
it
see the
and paste it
post?
into a document.
Did you see the
Hmm.
poem the post I put up there today?
No, I haven't really been
I
online today.
don't do poetry. I don't do voodoo. I write poetry. That's even stronger. Something like that.
Yeah, yeah, man. Because we word spells, right?
Yes, word
Word
spells.
spells. That's what manifestation. That's what I tell people to stop playing with poetry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because poetry is one of the most strongest, most powerful things you can ever, even as a lover of poetry,
Mm-hmm.
it's the most powerful thing you can tap into.
Yep.
Because when we speak word spells, not just over ourselves. That's why I think our responsibility as poets, we need to be a lot more responsible with the things we do and say, because
Mm.
we speak spells over ourselves and our audience.
So what does that say about erotic poets like
That
me?
too, baby. That too. We wake up spirits that didn't know that they were dead,
Yeah, that's true. I could believe
and
that.
other body parts.
And other body parts. How about that, right? All right, so here we go. Themes.
Mm,
Are there recurring themes or messages in your poetry that you feel particularly passionate about?
yes.
Okay.
I'm a survivor of domestic violence.
Okay.
So, um, to express to a victim, and I'm not going to say a woman, I'm going to
Yes.
say a victim,
Yes.
that you don't have to, because victims, survivors, only survivors survive, right?
Hmm.
When you listen to the news and they say so and so was a victim of domestic violence, most times they're dead,
Okay.
right? So I really, my theme is always about surviving.
Yes.
It's a tough thing to go through. Any kind of abuse is a tough thing to get through,
Hmm.
right? So, but the main goal is to survive it.
Hmm.
That's why I encourage women, and I'm gonna say women because I'm a woman, right? And I when I was in it was a thing. Like, how do I get out of it?
Right.
So I impress upon people, I'll say people, that you got to choose you first. And that's my theme for domestic violence. That's my theme for the youth. That's my theme for love.
Hmm.
You know, Choose you
Mm-hmm.
first.
Yes.
And that's my theme for the community, right? If you want a better community, then be a better community member.
Mm.
If you want to be a better lover, if you want to have a better lover, be a better lover.
Right.
You want
Mm-hmm.
respect, give it. That's how it's returned.
Right.
Poetry tells you that
Mm-hmm.
easily in a very seductive way. And the more seductive you are, the easier people are willing to receive it. It's like, you get up there, Mona. I've seen you on stage. You get up there and you be like, you give them that, and they want more.
Yeah.
They want more. They want like, yo, when he's gonna be on stage again? You know what I mean? You gotta seduce them. You gotta seduce them, man. That's why I'm in the lane I'm in.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple of things about myself about, she can only be on one stage. Okay, I'm in one lane,
Mm-hmm.
and on my lane, I have many, many stages I stop on. I stop on local stages. I stop on international stages. I stop on stages. I stop on small stages. I stop on big stages.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, the theme of it all is love, it's unity, it's sexy. You know what I mean? Even when it's serious stuff, like you can't always just be rah 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 to a person to get the point across. Sometimes when you say things like, "Let's get together,"
Right.
and I'm talking about coming together as a community instead
Yes.
of "Yo, join hands with me."
Right. It's
It's
how you
different.
say it. Not what you say. It's how
Yeah,
you
it's
say it.
different. And for some people, that approach is very effective because that's their personality. I don't have a rough personality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lady.
Of course. We're a lady. I tried to because I don't know if you ever heard me bark at people every now and then. I'm a nice person, but I have a little bit of a bark sometimes. But yeah.
See, I'm a
I'm
Libra, so I my thing is I'm balanced until you tip the scale. When you tip the scale, whatever you get is what you get.
ah
And sometimes that can be, a little rough and
yes.
unexpected because
I've never
normally I'm not
seen
a rough
that.
person.
I've never seen that
Oh,
from you. I've never seen that
oh.
from you. Mm-mm.
I'm very balanced when it comes to poetry.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen you out of character. I've never seen you get like me
Because
on the other
I'm
hand.
quiet with it. I'm like, I don't
Yes.
have to cause a scene. I'm very quiet with it. If we got an issue, we are gonna have the issue, not the whole community is gonna know about our issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? But most times I don't have issues with nobody in the community because for me, poetry is love.
Right.
And if the theme ain't love, then baby, go on over there. I'll see you. I'll come to your show, but we don't have to be on the same stage. It's okay.
Yes. Your shows, though, you always had a nice show. The shows that I went to in Brooklyn.
Because I try to make sure. Okay, I'm a fan of poetry first,
Mm-hmm.
so I try to produce stuff that I want to attend.
Ah,
That I'm
that
like,
makes sense.
I don't have a problem paying $10, $20 for because I want the content. I know what I'm gonna get when I sit
Mm-hmm.
in that audience. Like when I come to Mocha's, I
Mm-hmm.
know what the hell I'm coming to Mocha's for. I'm not coming to Mocha's to sit all prim and proper. And I'm not looking for this. I'm
Right.
looking for I feel that, margaritas and I know what's coming. I
Right.
know, there's the D Blacks and the Monas and that. I know who's coming to your stage, so I know what I'm coming there for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about poetry. Like, you set your platform. People try to put you in a box, but baby girl, we set our platforms and whatever we do, people know it's
Mm-hmm.
well done. I, I don't,
Absolutely.
I don't speak, well, I always speak highly of myself because I am a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't brag about a lot of stuff, but what I do speak about is the content that I put out there has to be something that feeds somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It has to feed a heart, a soul, a spirit. It has to feed something.
Yes.
And the artist, because we do need to be paid.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So it has to feed the artist too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, content is everything, and themes are the best.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, number 5. Impact of music. How does music influence your poetry? And are there particular artists or genres that inspire you?
Okay, so Jill Scott, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, Jill Scott. Um, I'm gonna say something very strange. Kurt Franklin is an
Okay.
influence on is a musical influence on my poetry because Kurt Franklin has a pulse that it hits me every time. It doesn't matter if the song is fast or slow. There's a
Mm-hmm.
pulse with his music that
Mm-hmm.
hits me every time, and
Okay.
that's what I want my poet. There's like I put a pulse in my poetry that, and none of it ever sounds the same,
Mm-hmm.
But that pulse is the one thing that's similar all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so, of course, Mahalia Jackson is another
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter
Mm-hmm.
has her third name is after Nina Simone.
Oh,
Um,
Nina.
because she's a heavy influence musically. She's a heavy influence on well, because of my dad and
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Opel. I know it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't sound strange. You're like, who's that? Right? But my dad used to play Jackie all the time. Yeah, I think there's some other people, but those are my go-to. Like, if I really got a project to work on, Jill is
Right.
in my ear all day.
Okay.
Jill is in
Jill
my
Scott is
ear. She's
dope.
like,
She,
yeah, she's like,
she's
because she
dope.
built, like, I feel like when I listen to her music, I know how she built the piece
Mm-hmm.
because it feels like the way I build my pieces.
Right.
Except she's throwing some music behind it, which I did tamper with once, and it did pretty good. But I'll get there another time.
Mm-hmm. You know, I produce music also, so we got to talk about that another
Well,
time.
honey, let's talk about it. Yeah,
Absolutely,
I'm down
girl.
to I'm down to come uptown with Mona.
You know what I'm saying? Come uptown with Moda.
Hello.
All right, number 6. Your
hmm
favorite piece. What's your favorite poem that you've written, and or what's the inspiration behind it?
Okay, so that's an unfair question. I have to say, I have two favorite pieces. I have Journeys, which is a sensual piece because I don't consider myself an erotic poet, but I do
What's the
consider
name?
myself a
What
Journeys.
journey?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Lioness Arise, which is an inspirational piece. And I like that's my anytime that I feel down, I just
Hmm.
say that piece to myself and like just kind of like open me up, get me back on stage, back on the raw of life. Right?
Hmm.
So yeah, between those two, so I can't choose between the two, but those would be my two.
Can you spit a couple lines of either one?
Oh,
Just a
definitely.
just a couple lines. Let's hear it.
Sure. So Journeys goes like I sat back last night and reminisced of the first time that we made love. I smiled as those memories flooded my mind and I relived that journey. Oh, I remember. That's Journey.
Ooh,
Um,
wee.
Lioness says, your roar has been minimized to a purr. Darkness deafens your light. Your dreams have been stolen by the fears that nurtures your plight. Lioness, arise.
Mm, mm. I
And
hope
those
you
are the
come
two
into
pieces.
the show. I hope you come into to my show in
Well,
December.
I mean, am I coming to be on stage or am I coming to be in the audience?
If you
It
could do
doesn't matter.
if you could spit some erotic poetry, it's an all erotic mic night.
I am bringing sensual. You're going to see that sensual and erotic equals, but not. Put me on, though. Seriously, put me on. I want to be on.
Okay,
I
damn,
want to
yeah.
be on.
Well, it's me, JP, my homegirl, my aunt, my homegirl slash niece Alyssa, Breeze, and brother Earl. We're all putting it together. So and the
Oh,
shows,
baby. So,
yes,
so
it's gonna
I'll,
be.
I'll talk. I'll talk to Earl and Breeze and see if they think that I hit the mark.
Please, you spit this.
Nah,
No,
just put
girl,
me on,
please.
sis. Put me
Yeah,
on.
of
Put me
course.
down.
Hell
I'm
yeah,
there.
hell yeah. All
And it's
righty.
gonna be cold too.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, number 7, audience
hmm
connection. How important is it for you to connect with your audience? Can you share a memorable interaction with a fan or a listener?
Mm. Okay. Audience connection is tremendously important for anyone that considers themselves an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't connect with your audience, then you might as well stay in your bathroom, spitting to yourself in the mirror.
Right.
See if you impact yourself then. All
Yes.
right. My most memorable audience interaction was um, and I just thought when I realized that my poetry, so I have like poetry that's written because that helped me through my survival from domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared it on a stage. And before I got to the bottom of the step, as a matter of fact, it was Lioness.
Okay.
And by the time when I got to the bottom of the step from the stage, after I finished, this lady met me. She got up out of the audience and she walked to the steps. And she met me at the steps and she said, "Thank you." And I was like, "For what?" And she said, "For speaking on my behalf."
Mm.
And up until then, sis, I was writing my poetry for me. I was writing
Right.
my poetry as my escape, right?
Mm.
So I could get these thoughts out of the back of my head that keep haunting me in the middle of the night, right? Out.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this woman that goes on to tell me that these very same words are in her head. She just doesn't know a way to eloquently put them out like I did.
Wow.
And then she started coming to my workshop because I do this writing workshop called Ink It Out with Empress Poetry. She
Okay.
started coming to my workshop, and now she's on stage doing poetry, girl.
How about that?
Hey, who knew?
Wow. Who knew? She's
Who
in
knew?
Brooklyn. Is she in Brooklyn?
No, she's in Queens.
Oh, all the way. Okay. Anybody we
Mhm.
know? Or is she a new
Um,
poet?
No, she's not a new poet because this is about 8 years ago, and
Okay.
she just recently read in California. So sis is out there. Sis done found herself in
Wow.
stages and stuff like that. Yeah, so she's not she's not like we like all over the place like us,
Mm-hmm.
but she's been doing some, and her son is a photographer, so now they're kind of like blending the two together. So one of my other secrets is that I publish. I call myself a doula of
Mm-hmm.
publishing, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
help self-publish. I help authors that are trying to self-publish
Right.
bring their birth babies to birth. And
Mm.
so I'm getting ready to do her and her son's combination.
And that's gonna be dope because you got the poetry and the
And
photography
her son's
together.
photograph. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's going to be
Wow.
something special.
Make sure I get a copy. Or let me know. I'll buy the copy, but just make sure I know
Will
because I would
do.
love to get a copy of that. You know. All right.
Will do.
Number 8, challenges.
Hmm.
What challenges have you faced as a poet, and how have you overcome them?
Hmm. That's a good one. Challenges. Girl, I don't know if I've had challenges as a poet. You know what? Yes, getting paid.
Ah, we
Getting
all
paid.
do.
That's been the challenge. So how have I overcome it? I do my own shows
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and I make sure that in addition to after the other artists eat and make sure that I have contracts with venues where we have great deals
Right.
where everybody eats, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and not no unfair percentages and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience has good food, good drinks, good service, and they do their part, and then everybody eats. I
Mm.
enjoy food, but I like having company when it comes to eating. You know, I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
selfish eater. I'd rather share the plate or let it be that there's enough at the table where we can all eat.
Absolutely.
So, so the challenges of getting paid and how I overcame it was producing my own event.
Hey, why not?
Yes, yeah,
You see what I was doing.
yes, ma'am. And I understood your grind. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I always give you the
Yep.
girl, do it,
Yep.
do it, because
Mm-hmm.
and it's a challenge because we're women.
Yep.
It's a tremendous challenge when we try to do things in poetry. People see it differently. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've had so if I really want to talk about it, I've had challenges with male poets who thought that we were in competition with each other instead of us being a community.
Wow. Hmm. I don't think I've had that issue.
Mm.
No, I've never had that issue. Girl, you good. You-
it,
you-
listen, I move on. I stay in my lane, sis.
I
You
know
don't hear
that's
my
right.
name in nothing.
Not at all. Not
I
at
stay
all.
in my lane, and
Mm-hmm.
anytime it gets messy in the lane, I move over.
Mm-hmm. I know that's
I
right.
move over, baby. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need that madness. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Social issues.
Mm.
How do you perceive the role of poet in addressing social issues? And do you feel a responsibility in that regard?
Hell yes.
Mhm.
That's why I don't like cotton candy poets.
What's a cotton candy poet?
A poet that sit up there and do roses and red, violets and blue. I
Ah,
love me and I love, and I'm not sure about you,
yeah.
right? When you sit up there and you do poetry that the audience, again, let's go back to audience connection. The audience cannot relate
Okay,
because they're not speaking from a realistic place.
I got it.
You have to speak. If you're going to be a poet, you are not ordained as a poet to speak for yourself. You are ordained to speak for the people. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you use your experience to speak to and for the people, and if your purpose behind it is
Yes.
to better the community or to better human nature or to just be a child of God, whether whoever you worship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, we are supposed to be good citizens of the universe. We are supposed to honor our creator by honoring his children, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we are not using our voice to do those things,
Okay.
then sit your cotton candy ass down.
She said cotton candy. Okay.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
So
I
socially,
can.
yes, get on the mic, get on the mic and say some things and stop sounding like the last poet that got. Because that's the other thing. I hate the chorus. I hate when we have a whole choir singing the same song.
Mm, I understand that. A lot of the newer poets, I think, all sound the same. I understand
Yes,
that.
there's no lead singer. It's just one
Mm-mm.
choir.
Yeah. And that doesn't take anything away from them because they're good also. It's just, wow, they all singing that. They have that same melody. They have the same melody.
Well,
If
there's a
you,
thing about influence,
mm-hmm.
and we can influence people to be themselves, or we can influence people to be us.
Right.
It
Yeah.
depends on who the mentor is.
Mm-hmm. I see. Hmm.
Hmm.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of
We've
sense.
been in this community for a long time, sis.
Yep.
We've
Yep.
seen how it happens.
Yep.
We know how it happens.
Yep.
And it takes
Yeah.
platforms like yours so that we can really get the messages out. Because not for nothing, everybody knows that you've been down in this when it was
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we was on trains spitting stuff.
Yep.
People out here on the Apollo stages and you know, they running for Grammys and stuff like that. Get out of here. Get grimy with it first.
Right. Yep.
Get grimy. And I don't have no hate on none of the poets, nobody that's going for a Grammy before they get into the grind.
Hmm.
But if you in the grind, then you will really understand that the Grammy is just like it's a patch on your shoulder.
Yep.
Show me your work in the community, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Show me your work. Like I love Raul Rios
Yes.
from the Eurekan. I
Yes.
listen. Anything this brother is doing, I'm with it.
He does everything for the community. I
I've
see it all the
seen
time.
he's in the community. You can find like there's actual pictures that you can never say this brother has not done the things that he's done or the
Right.
things that he claimed that he's done. There's proof.
Right.
Those are kind of poets that I like to align myself with. People that are doing things instead of just you know being on stages. It's cool to travel. It's wonderful to go ahead out of the country and people just oh my god you're so and so. That's great, but you can't. You got to go out there and do something. Like when we went to St. Lucia, we went to St. Lucia because this lady got hit by a drunk driver,
Mm.
and she is a person in the community, standing up for the community. Miss King, fed the community, teaches the community because she's still doing it from a wheelchair. But
Okay.
this drunk driver rendered her into a wheelchair. So we went down to St. Lucia. Our first time was in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and put on a show and raise funds because the problem is in St. Lucia there's no rehab center.
Okay.
So we had to raise money for her so she can get out of St. Lucia and come to the U.S. And then
Wow.
she went to Europe so that she can get. So now she's still not walking, but she can actually stand up. She's strengthened her feet,
Okay.
being
God
able
bless
to
her.
travel and go take care. Yeah, so these are the things poetry is supposed to do, baby. We're not supposed to
Mm-hmm.
just sit here on some egotistical express train to
Yeah.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of y'all that do that type of Yaba Mandingo,
Yeah.
Kasim. I
Ayaba,
can't hear.
Rasu Sajay Food.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, somebody was trying to call in. So it's Ayaba, Rasu Sajay Food, Sharif Ali, Ikanzi Benyamin,
Mm-hmm.
um, Brother Burnett, Coburn, missing people. Wait a minute. Coburn, Yaba, Sadifu, Yaya, because Miss King is Yaya's cousin. So he was actually it was his call
Mm-hmm.
that made us say, yeah, let's get on this plane and go ahead and do what we got to do because that's his favorite cousin, you know,
Right.
and he wanted to do something for her. So there were seven of us. I'm trying to remember who else. I'm missing somebody. Hold on. Oh, it's me. Never mind. One one sip too many.
It's time to put the cup down, girl, for a moment.
Hmm. Indeed. So what we did was we went down there and we collabed with artists down there and put on this dope show. And then we went
Mm-hmm.
back down there in March this year and we continued to work.
Well,
That's what poetry is supposed
is
to
she
do.
walking yet? She's not. She's still not
No,
walking
she's
yet.
not walking yet, but she can stand up. She stand like we see where she's gaining her strength, you
Good.
know. Yeah,
That's
but she
good.
still gets up in that wheelchair every morning. That lady used to get up. That lady would get up and go
Mm-hmm.
into her kitchen and do her part to create breakfast for us. So by the
Right.
time we woke up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
because she owns a guest house.
Mm-hmm.
When I say she feeds the community, the school is right across the park from her house, and the
Uh-huh.
teachers came and bought food, you know. And even if, and then there was the same night, this one lady was telling me that this is what reminded me of my grandmother. That if after in the evenings, if she didn't have food to feed her kids, she can come to Miss King and Miss King would give her meals for her and her kids.
Right.
You know, so we're down there getting ready to do the show for her, and we're getting like real first class service.
Wow.
And then I found out that Miss King is getting up in the morning and rolling the bakes that came
Wow.
with the breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still that person. So it's like I love the fact that I can use poetry to enhance or to better her life and
And
get her
that's why
back
you
to being
and
that
that's why you
person.
stayed there so long. How long was you out? You was out there so long. I was like,
Well,
is
we
she
were there
coming
for
back?
well, so what happened was last year was a traveling year. 2023 was a traveling year.
Uh-huh.
So in January we went to St. Lucia for Miss King, and we were
Mm-hmm.
there for 7 days. And while we were there, we did a lot of other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
including different shows and stuff like that. Then
Mm-hmm.
we got invited to Jamaica to do this poem in
Mm-hmm.
April. So
Mm-hmm.
we went there, and then in October I went back to Barbados, which is where I'm from, but I hadn't been back there in 28 years,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and it was my 50th birthday.
Wow.
So the creator just made it like he was like, let's do this big. So
Right.
when we went down there, we did a show there as well, and then we visited the rehab center there,
Mm-hmm.
drug substance rehab center,
Okay.
and I introduced my workshop, my writing workshop, Ink It Out. I introduced it to the residents, and that turned
Okay.
into something that I'm actually getting ready to build on, where we can continue that workshop because sis, we went from writing acrostic poems using their names to an impromptu open mic.
Wow.
And like by the time we were done, I had this one guy that did not want to he didn't want to do the assignment. And he was looking at me like I was sure I was confronting a demon
Mm-hmm.
before he said anything out of his mouth. I
Okay.
said, all right, I'm going to leave this kid alone because he's like 19 years old. I was like, all right, I'm going to leave this kid alone. We hadn't planned the open mic either, but one of the participants said, I want to read my poem. So I was like, okay. So he read his poem, and then the other 18 participants read their poems, and then at the end, I said to this one kid, I was like,
Uh-huh.
so you wanna read your poem? And he didn't write nothing. He opened up his mouth. His name is Damon, and he started out by telling me I'm a demon.
Wow.
But he went through 5 letters, and by the time he got to the end, he said, "But I'm also very nice."
Mm.
Now, the administration that was sitting there were wild because they've never heard him express himself like that. Like they've heard the demon side.
Yes.
Poetry allowed him to show that soft side that they've
Yes.
never seen. You know,
Yes.
so that's what I've been traveling. Yes, it looks glamorous, but it's been some work. It's been some work. It's been not just traveling, but just personally. Like my spirit has been through some stuff, like a shift
Mm.
in the last 365 days. My spirit has been through a shift.
And here you are today on your 50
And here
what?
I am.
First birthday.
What?
Here we
My
go.
50 fun year.
Yep. You got 10 more. Now you got 9 years to just express your 50s.
Yes, and at some point in time, my child will give me some grandkids. I'm not pushing her, you know, I'm
Child,
not pushing her to
I
be a
got a,
grandma.
I got a bunch, but that's another story. So,
Mm-mm. She's
all
she's
right.
taking her good old time.
Let her take her time. Let her live
I
her
am not
life.
pushing her, honey. I'm not pushing
Don't
her. I
push
need to be
her.
retired. I can't
Mm-hmm.
travel because I keep dreaming about. I've been dreaming for years about her and twins. So I know I'm gonna have to step in and be Empress because I told her kids. She gonna tell me my kids gonna call you Mama.
It's coming though.
No, they
Every
never gonna
time
call me no Mama though.
they call me grandma, and I love it. Grandma, 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 grandma. I love it.
Grandma might be okay. I'm rocking for Empress, but she's like, no, my kids will never call you Empress. I don't call you Empress. They're gonna call you Mama.
Uh. Grandma.
She's
Girl. Number
terrible.
number 10. Collaboration.
Wow, really?
Yep, number 10.
We here already?
Collaboration.
Okay.
Have you collaborated with other artists, and what have those experiences taught you about creativity and teamwork? Of course you have.
I have collaborated with some dope artists. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
some crazy stories about collaborations. I'm not going to say yet. I have
Right.
not, and I do not intend to ever have those experiences. I've
Right.
collaborated with people who are really about the art.
Right.
And it was never about, oh, so and so featuring so and so. It was about, yo, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
collaborations with the right artists is a great thing. And what is it to sit in a cipher and
Okay.
vibe off each other? Like, what is
Yes.
that? That energy is whew.
The flow.
When I
The
to
the
sit down
flow.
and vibe
Mm-hmm.
off of another creative and
Yes.
create something together. It's almost like love making and creating a baby. Almost, yeah,
Almost.
just almost,
Yep.
almost.
Yep. It's
But
so dope.
yeah, it's
It's
like
dope.
love making.
Ciphers are the best. There's a cipher. There used to be a cipher with Ronald Haney used to have his show on Lenox Avenue and 130 something street. It was called LA Scat.
Mhm.
And he every at the end of his show he would always do a cipher, and everybody would get on the mic, and they would spit off the dome, and this it was just so dope. I always loved going to his show just for the end of the show when he would have the cipher. It was called Spit and Pass. Spit
Mm.
and Pass.
So,
It was
so
dope,
you
very
know
dope.
Eric Crow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Huh?
Eric Crow, you know him?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Eric Crow.
Crow he has a documentary
Mm-hmm.
where he literally documented us after, like, I know ciphers because after shows when the poets weren't ready to go home, we used to
Right.
hang out on the sidewalk and just spit to one another.
Yes.
Crow has actual footage of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of activity.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I know as ciphers. Like what they know as ciphers now, that's
Yeah.
different. But what I know as a cipher is us not ready to go home from
Right.
events, and we stood on the sidewalk talking to one another. That's like it's real life. Ooh,
Yes.
that's my man. Listen, life used to eat a cipher up
Mm-hmm. Or
because we just were never ready to go home. So
right.
the flame just kept going, and we just fizzled it out on the sidewalk.
Yep, and at the corner or at a restaurant, we're hungry. Let's
Mhm.
go to a spot, and we sit in the spot and we're eating and we're just spitting,
Yep,
just
and they
spitting.
don't care because we spending money.
Yep. So though I miss those days. Co-
Yes.
COVID changed that.
I don't know if it was COVID, but the community has changed.
The energy's changed. I think it changed a lot more after COVID.
Well, we're still trying to get back from COVID,
I
but
don't
I
know.
think that lukewarm energy was
Mm-hmm.
before
Mm-hmm.
COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like we
I
know
could
each
say
other
that.
because not only did you come to my shows and I come to yours, but we went to
Mm-hmm.
other people's shows and ran into one another there and was like,
Right.
yo, sis, what up? You know what I
Yep.
mean? That
Yep.
energy stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had their own crew, their own audience, and if your audience came to my show, then they were not loyal to you. Yeah, come on, when did that start? It's poetry. What the hell?
If you can make it, you can make it. If you can, it's okay. I'll see you at the next show.
And when
Simple.
did it become a competition thing? When did it become like it's like it became a gang war? It was like
Yeah.
turf,
Mm-hmm.
and I just can't rock with that. So I found my own little plot.
Child, we older now. We the 50 plus crew, so
Right.
we're
I'm just here
older
to spit
now.
some good shit. That's what I'm
Right.
here for. I'm here to spit some good stuff and get you to ooh and ah and think, oh wow, yeah, we should think about that and let's go forward.
Right. Kumbaya and have a good time and then go home and talk about
Even
it
if
the
you
next.
don't, even if you don't like me, you know what
Right.
I mean? Just hear the message.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the messenger. Hear the message. Recognize that we have a gift that could actually make a change.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We look at the Talam Aces and them like they ain't sitting at
We
home waiting for no. Come on, get out of here. These brothers been on the grind. They've been out here doing this thing for poetry. Rasa Sajid Fu has taken poetry to Africa.
mm-hmm. Talam AC. Oh my God. Who
Come
we
on, we and not for nothing. I know some dope ass young poets. There's this one sister called Wildflower, the
mm-hmm.
poet.
Mm-hmm.
She's out of Queens. And since I seen this girl sit up in we did a, I was a feature for a Rastafarian, a Jamaican dub poet
Mm-hmm.
event last January. The sister came in there for the open mic, right? Rastafarian dub poet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sis came in there, got on the stage for open mic, and dropped the name of Jesus Christ so much I thought I was in church.
Oh my God.
With no
Okay.
fear. With no
Okay.
fear.
Mm-hmm.
Straight fire in her heart.
Mm-hmm.
There's still them poets, the poets that we are, you know, when we were
Yes.
younger, we had no, like, we stormed stages when we were younger. Now we live bit
Yes.
tipsy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Now we a
Yes.
little bit like, but this so it's not that poetry isn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's not dead. We just have to embrace what young poetry looks like. And we have to
Mm.
teach them that, it's not always going to be glamorous. Like she's learned that.
Mm-hmm.
She's done a couple of slams where, you know, she got done dirty or whatever, And again, that's all a part of the process.
Right. Yeah,
If
for
you're going to
sure.
be brave enough to get in a slam, understand what comes with getting slammed.
I never
Sometimes
did a
you get
slam.
slammed.
I never did a
That's not my
slam.
thing.
That's not my
I
thing
don't think
either. It's not my thing.
I don't write for competition, baby. I
Right.
write for community. I
Right.
write for compassion. I write for
Mm-hmm.
cozy.
And I write for love. I write for love.
Hey,
You know?
again, again. So,
Yeah.
okay, next question.
Next question. Advice for inspiring poets. What advice would you give to aspiring poets who want to make a name for themselves in the literary world?
Don't be anyone but you.
Hello. Point blank.
That's it. One voice, one mic.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Hell yeah. I've heard poets and I was like, wait a minute. But he sounds like who does he sound
hmm
like? And I'm trying to
His,
rack
his
my brain.
mentor.
And then the name will come up and it's like, you sound like blah blah blah. And it's like, wow.
And then you do the work and realize that it's his mentor and that your mentor has turned him into little mini me's.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-mm.
about freedom, baby. I don't think, honestly, I have influences, but I don't think anyone has my pen. I don't think anybody has Mona Boday's pen.
Mm-mm.
I don't think anybody has D Black's pen. I
Right.
don't think anybody has Ngoma's pen or his
Right.
musical. Like, come on, get out of here. We
Right.
are such a unique collective. We shouldn't. Come on, sis. I see so much better and bigger for us. Look at RL.
Yeah.
RL's a gifted one. Has taken
Mm-hmm.
his poetry from Brooklyn. He's gone
Mm-hmm.
head down to the South, and now he's on movies. Now he's in movies.
Yeah.
RL just dropped. He's got a movie on Tubi called Office
Mm-hmm.
Secret. Check it
Yeah.
out.
I'm gonna check it out. Office
Yeah,
Secrets. Okay, I'm gonna check
yeah.
that out too.
He's on Tubi, and I think he's on Amazon Prime. I think it just dropped like a couple days ago. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, come on, we can do so much with poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and poetry can take us into so many different avenues. And there's space for every last one of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's space for all of us.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that. Uh, anyway,
We
next
still here. We
question.
can change it. We still here. We can
Right.
change it. We
Right.
can change
Right.
it. We still here. Next
For
question.
sure.
Let's go.
Number 12, the poetry community. Here we go.
Mm,
How do you view the current poetry community? Are there aspects you find particularly inspiring or concerning? We just talked about that.
pretty much. I'm
Mm-hmm.
inspired by poets like old school poets like us
Yes.
that embrace the youth and let
Mm-hmm.
them be, instead of turning them into mini me's.
Right.
I am very much disgruntled by the people that turn youth poets into mini me's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm very disgruntled about that. I think a lot of times ego gets in the way for some
Mm-hmm.
poets, and we fail to see where collectively we could actually make a difference. You
Right.
know, I remember one of my first big events was when Haiti had the earthquake in
Okay.
2010. And
Mm-hmm.
I got on Facebook and I was like, it's something along the lines of, as poets, we have a bigger voice collectively, something along that lines. And Osage Fu reached out to me and he was like, so what are you thinking? And I'm like, we need to come together and raise some money so that we can help the people in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And that went to, he put out the word. He had, at
Wow.
that time, he had influence on some of the stronger poets. And I was relatively new to being who I am today. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to do open mics, and a lot of times I've been a fan of poetry first. So I started just doing open mics, just going to open mics, not actually being a part of it. Right?
Right.
The people that I would be there with would do crazy stuff like put my name on a list and never tell me anything. And once I get called, I gotta stand up because that's just my
Right.
thing. You call me, I'm
Right.
here.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So he had the greater influence on some of the heavier artists. And we had people like Nkosi, Christ's,
Mm-hmm.
Israelite was already my girl.
I was just
We
about to
had
say that.
20, Chris Slaughter. We had,
Mm-hmm.
like, we had another artist. I don't want to call his name because I really don't want to give him much attention. But
Mm-hmm.
we had this one artist whose name was like tremendously known in the
Mm-hmm.
community at that
Mm-hmm.
time. And his thing was, oh well, we shouldn't say Empress Poetry Presents because nobody knows who she is. It should say dot 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 Inc. That's all I'm gonna put out there, and that's who should
Wow.
be headlining the because people know who that is. And in my head, I was thinking, bro, what does this have to do with who knows who? We're trying to
Right.
raise money, and then the second thing he did was, oh well, I think we'll have a greater impact if we raise the money and give it to one family. I have a friend whose family is in Haiti and they need the help.
Mm.
I
Mm.
said, well, here's my idea. If I could get a bottle of water to every person in Haiti, we've done something.
Right.
We've done something. We've impacted multiple lives instead of one family. So he dropped out of the project
Wow.
and he said, good. He said to somebody else, good luck with that because nobody knows who she is. We
Wow.
packed, we packed the 500 seated auditorium of Mega Evers. And he
Mm-hmm.
showed up to see it. And he said, wow, you really did this.
Wow. He had to shut up.
So, as far as the community is concerned, ultimately, I would say 95% of the community is healthy. There's a 5% that's very unhealthy and should probably be, amputated, but that's not my part.
Right.
Me, I just don't want the cancer to spread. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Wow.
But it happens.
Some people are just so yeah. They're not like us. That's all
No,
I'm gonna
that's
say.
the
They're not like
soul.
us. They're not like us.
At all. I don't even because poetry by nature, right? Poetry is not a selfish, hurtful. Like
Not at
nobody's
all.
supposed to come away hurt from poetry.
Right.
And somehow a lot of people walk away from the community very, very hurt. Like, rest his soul, Brother Ali. I went to
Mm-hmm.
college with Brother
Oh,
Ali.
brother
That's where
Ali.
I know
Oh,
Brother
wow.
Ali from,
I miss
right?
him.
The community treated Brother Ali so fucked up.
Really? Wow.
And
Anyway.
I hated it. I hated it. But
Mm-hmm.
so one thing I made sure I did whenever I had an event where I knew that for sure Brother Ali was going to be comfortable on that stage, I never
Mm-hmm.
left him out. I never left him out.
Yeah.
And
He was
then
such a
because
nice man.
because I always fought like no with other people, like no, you need to put Brother Ali on this event.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, other people then realized that wow, yes, but this is a man that had a speech impediment that
Yes.
before they, instead of them seeing it as that, because again, I went to college with him, right? So Brother
Mm-hmm.
Ali and I went back before I was even on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, again, misdiagnosis of mental health and stuff like that, instead of seeing it as a speech impediment, they
Right.
diagnosed him as schizophrenic.
And he wasn't. There was nothing wrong with
At
him.
all, at all, at
I know he had
all.
the speech
And they,
impediment,
and
but
they,
he had nothing
that
wrong
was
with him.
it. That was it. That was brilliant. What? You want to talk history? You
Yes.
want to talk it? Brother Ali was the man to go to for history.
Very
But
smart.
the health system,
Mm-hmm.
that's where they put this black man. They put him in a category
They
instead of
put that.
recognizing that it was just a speech impediment, and they medicated him.
Wow.
So when I was in college with Brother Ali, like it was when he was off his meds that I realized this kid is dope.
Yeah. He is
We were
dope.
members of the Black Student Union together. That's where we really really connected. And the first thing I did as president was to throw a poetry open mic, and he
Yeah.
got on stage.
Yeah. And he spit
And
the
I and
shit
then
out of
yeah,
that.
he killed it. And then
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him after we left college. I didn't see him again until Essence was doing Food for Thought.
Yes. Oh yeah, I've been there. I went to that one a couple times.
And I walked into Food for Thought, and I was already running his Empress poetry, and that man called me by my government.
Mm. How about that's like yeah.
Like, what? And after that, and then, COVID, and, well, he had heart problems, though. That's really what, it was a
That's what
heart attack
happened.
that took our brother, yeah. But, during COVID, when I spoke to him, one of the things he expressed all the time, and again, this comes back to the community, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Brother Ali was
He was what? Can't hear
doing the
you.
it to me. He
Repeat that. You went dead. You went
that's
blank.
because somebody tried to call in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody was trying to call in. He was heartbroken because he
Okay.
couldn't get to a poetry event because
Okay.
everything was closed down. And he said to me, he said, "Sis, you don't understand. I'm here alone. When I
Mm.
come out and I'm there with you guys, I
Right.
never feel alone." And I
Okay.
was like, "Don't worry about it, bro. We gonna get back there. We gonna get back there." And boom,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
heartbroken,
Wow.
heartbroken.
God bless
So
him. God
yeah,
bless
still an
him.
influence though.
It's real light. Israelite was, whew.
In Christ is, man.
And
A
Christ
train.
is
Like we
too.
lost
A
we
train.
lost a
Yep.
lot, Furious Lord. We lost a
Yep.
lot.
Yep. I
That's why
have
we did that. That's why we did that reunion in 20, what was that, 22?
which one?
God, I don't even remember. I did Essence and I hosted the poetry family reunion in Prospect Park. That was
I
last
didn't make
year.
that. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
that was
travel
last
too
year,
much.
23. Yeah, and that was why we did it because one night we were sitting down talking about everybody, and I was like, man, we lost a lot of people.
Hmm. I have a poem
Intimate
of
sound.
yeah, I have a poem that on my one of my albums that I did A Train. He did a piece.
Mm.
Yeah.
See,
He's so
so
he was
that's
so
what that's stuff like that. Like we did for the reunion, we played
hmm
their stuff. Anybody that we found stuff
I
on
wish I would have
audio or
known.
video,
And I
and
have
I didn't
one.
even because we didn't have nothing from A Train,
I wish
but
you
we
would have
could do
told
that
me.
again.
I have
We
two
listen.
pieces from him. I have an intro that because we did Mike Fiends and we did Mike Fiends After Dark. I have two albums because I was doing that. I had the poets that were frequent microphone fiends all the time. Listen, I need y'all to come and spit on the mic. I need to put together an
Do you
album
know
for
who's
y'all.
doing that too? I
Mm-hmm.
love him for it. Sharif
Mm-hmm.
Ali. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
Sharif is pulling in some powerful poets to drop some powerful, powerful projects. I know that's
Yeah.
our next thing, future project. I
Yes.
am a part
Yes.
of one of those.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
part of one of Sharif's projects.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll let you ask your question.
Number 13. Okay. Future projects. Are there any upcoming projects or themes you're exploring that you're exploring and are you excited to share? Wait a minute. Let me start that over. Are there any upcoming projects or themes you're exploring that you're excited to share?
Okay, so couple. I just finished this book because
Mm,
so you know I'm an immigrant, right?
mm.
And I'm still fighting immigration over some real dumb shit,
Wow.
and it's crazy because it's it's really political, but then it's also financial. But I don't
Hmm.
want to go too in depth about it. Bottom line is, I'm still fighting these fools, and I hear everybody talk about the migrant crisis, right?
Hmm.
And then when they talk about the migrant crisis, they say, "Oh, these effing immigrants," right? And
Mm.
they put me in the box.
Right.
So I wrote a book called I'm Migrant, but if you put I am and migrant together, the word is immigrant. And it really is a book to show everybody
Right.
that this whole thing with this crisis was originally an arrival.
Hmm.
And then it became a crisis. And if we really do the footprinting back, and that's what my book is doing, I'm footprinting back to 2022 in March of 2022, March, April of 2022, when migrants crossed the borders in warm states,
Hmm.
and the administration there put them on buses and sent them to cold New York and cold Boston, you know, and other sanctuary states. Those were the only states that these migrants were sent to were sanctuary states,
Right.
right? We weren't expecting them. We welcomed them because we're a sanctuary state. They kept coming here. I hear everybody in their beast about the mayor. I'm not for or with nobody. I can't vote. Let me keep it honest with you, right?
Right.
The bottom line is this. When the mayor of New York City was trying to get other parts of New York, and I'm just going to stick with New York,
Right.
to take some of these migrants, those little counties went to court and got an injunction to stop him from sending migrants to their communities. And the governor of New York supported that. And if everybody looks at it, it is
Yeah.
the truth,
Yes.
right?
I heard that. I heard that.
This was planned. This was planned. It's a political year. So anyway, I'm not going to get into all that because I don't want Instagram to shut the show down. So, but that's
Thank
what my
you.
book, I'm Migrant. That's what my book is about. Um,
Mhm.
I do plan to go back to St. Lucia next year so we can continue this good work for Miss King, in addition to everybody else on the island that needs a rehab center. We're
Right.
helping Miss King, but ultimately they need a rehab center. So that's our
Yes.
plan.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I plan to do some more traveling and stuff. I'm a teacher. I miss I work with some really great, amazing kids, but I use poetry, puppetry, and this year we're going to be doing some new stuff
What age?
to explore fourth and fifth graders.
Okay.
And we use poetry to explore emotional intelligence,
Hmm.
and interpersonal relations, so
Okay.
that we can stop this fighting. And when you say cruel things to others and yourself, you have to understand that why you're saying these things, and
Okay.
if you and see if you should say these things. And since I've learned, poetry
Yes.
is an amazing way to do that. It is.
Absolutely.
And then I'm also working with seniors, and I'm using poetry to get them to pull up thoughts that is pushed away, like people suffering with dementia and stuff like that.
Mm.
Using images, poems, pictures, and we're creating poems together. And between them and my kids, we're all published authors together in anthologies. And
Wow.
everybody gets a stream of income from that. So that's what Ink It Out is about, right? Basically,
Mhm.
for us to come together as a group, whether
Mhm.
it's kids or adults,
Right.
I've done this with families that are grieving, and we've all written out our poems and then because I publish as well, and
Mm-hmm.
so we publish a book, an anthology of our words, and like everybody gets to walk away, and then you can sell the book and make it. So you may want to sell the book at $40. You can sell the book at $40. I may only get $10 for mine, so I can do that. But the liberty to quote your own price.
Right.
That's what I offer in addition to the opportunity for us to come together and drop some words of wisdom as a community, whether it's me and the youth, me and the
Mm-hmm.
seniors, or just us,
Right.
as a group of poets.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Wow. Wow. That's dope.
Thank you.
Okay, number 14, emotional expression. How do you navigate vulnerability in your poetry, and how does it feel to put your emotions out there for others to read? Uh-huh.
Hmm. You know what's crazy? I don't have a problem writing it, but it took me a very long time to get on stage and like put my feelings out on stage where other people are receiving it in my presence. Like if
Okay.
you're reading my poetry, then you know if you don't like it, you can close the book and go away, right? And just
Mm,
throw the book away, right?
right.
But on stage, but I'm giving you all the Empress, and that's why I'm talking. Again, you asked about stage and audience, right? That connection, like that connection is really, really important
Right.
because I mean, it's sometimes it does it's kind of daunting sometimes if you're
Mm,
not. But then that's me. That's my problem as the artist, not reading the room. Because if you read the room, you know what poem is going to rock and what poem is not going to rock.
right.
Right. So emotionally, um, I think it's more for me as a stage performer than it is for me as a published author. The effects of how others are going to feel
Mm-hmm.
reading my work. I think it's more effective. It has a greater impact on me when I'm on stage.
Okay.
Um, so I've cried on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely cried on stage, and I've definitely needed a hug
Mm-hmm.
once or twice after
Mm-hmm.
coming off stage because you connect on a like sometimes you plug into a real surreal thing with that mic and you
Right.
become one.
Mm. And that's probably why I do erotic poetry, because I could just stay where I'm at, and I don't, if
I don't
you
know, sis,
if
because
you understand where I'm going, if you understand where I'm coming from,
no, because I'm gonna say this, right?
say it, say it.
I've seen you plug into the mic and then you became like a snake, like you started doing all of this and dropping. So that was the plug-in.
No,
That was, somebody actually had.
I'm talking about the that emotional
Yeah, yours comes
sensitivity.
through your body language.
Hmm. I never looked at it like that.
You move sultry just like your words. You do this.
Mm.
You do. Am I lying or what? Am I a fan or what?
Oh my
you
God.
you move with your words like it's a flow. Like rappers are like this or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
You
yeah.
you you're different. You're like damn, damn. You get that.
And then I'll
So
focus in on that one
and
person.
and give them goosebumps.
Right, right.
That's
Mm,
your plug-in.
okay. All right, I understand it now. Okay, okay. Oh my God. I
You know
can't
I'm a
wait.
fan, girl.
I can't wait to see you again, honey. We're gonna do some stuff, girl. We're gonna do some
I
stuff.
was definite.
We definitely gotta do some stuff. All right, where we at? Number what? 15?
50. Mm-hmm.
Okay, where we at? Number
We almost
15.
there.
Right? That was quick.
That was
In-
very quick. Wow.
influences. Who are some poets or writers that have influenced your work, and how has their writing shaped your own style? We talked about that
Yeah,
earlier.
we talked about that. Yeah, the
Mhm.
Mayas, the Kamal
Mhm.
Brathwaite's, the Nikki
Mhm.
Giovanni's,
Mm.
Sanchez. And I'm gonna come up with some Israelite. I'm gonna keep it real.
Yes.
Israelite, Infinite
Yes.
Psalms.
Yes.
Russell Fu is a heavy influence on my poetry. And you
Yes.
know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity to say that Russell Fu is like a spiritual guide when it comes to my poetry because
Okay.
I'll write something and or it's either I'll write something and I'll share it with him and he'll call me back on it and drop like some real dope shit that I did not intend to write, but he found it.
Right.
Or he'll sometimes call me and give me a prompt, like, my sister, you should drop this. See,
Right.
go write that and see what comes up. Like iron sharpens iron, and that's what I love about our community. When
Mm-hmm.
you tap into those kind of people,
Mm-hmm.
that's who you stay with.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you stay with. People that outside of poetry are gonna call you and say, "Hey, how you doing? How are you
Right.
spiritually? How are you emotionally?"
Mm-hmm.
And it don't have nothing to do with what they've seen on Instagram or on Facebook. They really just, you cross my mind, I'm tapping in.
Right.
So those are the people that influence me. Ayas, Ayabas.
Mm-hmm.
Christ is was one of my heaviest. Like he
Mm.
used to. I don't know if it was
Mm.
the Libra thing or what, but Christ is used to tap in at times when I didn't even know I needed that tap in.
Mm-hmm.
You
That
know,
was so
and
unfortunate.
or he'll call up and he'll be like, "My sister, I think you should write something on this. Is such and such is going on. I think you should write something on that. Know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly, exactly."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, let's go, bro, let's go, because that's my influence. Like, light my fires. I love
Mm-hmm.
people that light my fire.
Man, we
So
lost so many good people, man. So
yes,
many.
but we still here, and we don't have to let their voices die. I refuse
Mm-hmm.
to let light stand die. I
Yeah.
refuse to let infinite sound stand die. Christ is
Oh,
that,
and
like,
it
that's a
was
part of my
such a
ink.
sweet woman. Such a sweet woman she was.
Those are my peeps, man.
Her and I shared stage once. I think I had just met her that one time. I saw her at shows previously, but that
Mhm.
was the first time we had did a show together. I think that was Clark's show. Clark. You know
Mhm.
Clark? Clark had a
Mhm.
show that was called Sisters Black Like Me. She did a dope
Oh, I
ad.
know the show, but I don't know her.
Yeah, the show was so dope. I did quite a few of her shows. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she did a show with me there. But then after that, she had passed away, and I was like, damn, that shit is fucked up because she was powerful.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. My sister, my sister, my sister, my
Yes.
sister.
Yes.
That's why I love. Let me tell you something. That's why we gotta stay like this, right? And
Hmm.
we gotta keep. And those are our sisters. We gotta keep them pens alive. Like
Yeah.
that, infinite, and light. They were my little
Hmm.
sisters, you know.
Hmm.
But I got so much. Infinite showed up my first book signing.
Yeah.
A friend of a friend
Hmm.
brought Infinite to my book signing
Hmm.
to be a part of. So for my book sign, I had like a lineup of poets. I
Okay.
didn't know who she was. And sis came and sis dropped like 10 minutes of pure jewels. My
Hmm.
favorite piece from her is Dandelions.
Who,
Right?
Infinite
It's about,
or
yeah, infinite,
okay.
infinite.
Hmm.
Light and I go way back. Light,
Ooh,
Light and I go back
light
so far I can't even. You know, but
light a room on fire. Oh gosh.
even if you did not like this sister, you have no choice
Yep.
but to admit that that is a natural gift. Like, she was put here on this earth to
Yep.
drop the messages, and
Yep.
she's left messages that are still relative today.
Mhm.
If you listen to Harriet and you think
Mhm.
about the nonsense that's going on out here today,
Mhm.
light has, she's still relative today.
Thank God we still got her page on Facebook. Every now and then I'll
Heck
go in there
yeah,
just
and
to
her
hear just to
YouTube
hear her.
channel,
Mhm. Just to hear her
and her
sing because
YouTube
she could
channel.
sing too. Oof.
Girl, sis
She could.
she knew she had gifts though, and she
Mhm.
taps into all of them. You ever had her chicken and waffles?
No, I did not. I didn't have the
Girl,
pleasure.
your lips miss some pleasurable things.
Oh man. All right,
Mhm.
number 16, last question.
Oh man.
I know. Where is it? Where's she at? Number 16. Here we go. Legacy.
Hmm.
When people read your poetry, what do you hope they take away from or remember most about your work?
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dope question.
That is a dope question.
So I do have this dream of
Mm-hmm.
my books being in libraries, and whatever a library looks like 100 years from now.
Yeah,
I would love to be read 100 years from now.
right.
I would love for somebody to do a synopsis on pieces like Join Hands with Me. Like, what was
Mm-hmm.
her intentions when she wrote this piece? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Join Hands with Me is a community piece, inviting the community to come with me. Let's make this difference. Let's show the rest of us that we could do better. We could be better. And that's the legacy I want to leave. Like, it doesn't have to die with us.
Right.
Our message doesn't have to die with us.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I write poems that impact not just today, but impacts tomorrow. So when I have my nieces and nephews are downstairs, if I had to bring them upstairs right now, they'll tell you that they used to have homework assignments as punishment. So you do something wrong, Auntie made them write poems. And
Right.
now today, a lot of them are in college and they're writing poetry and they're
Right.
getting grants and stuff like that. And I get phone calls all the time. Oh, Auntie, I'm so glad that I got you in my life. Right? A
Mm-hmm.
poem. We
Mm-hmm.
can make a difference with one poem
Right.
or
Yes.
one kind word, a
Mm-hmm.
one kind gesture. But my
Yes.
legacy at the end of the day is for me to leave something for someone to carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. So now let me ask you this. What you got going
hmm
on? What's coming up? What you got going on now? What's going on next? What's next?
So, I'm going to be doing a private event at the end of this month. I will send you an invitation because I would love for you to be there.
Okay.
Um, it's really it's a love project kind of sort of
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Okay.
Um, and so when off air, I'll tell you about it because I don't want everybody there. I'm be honest with you. I have an elite list of invitees, and you're on it. It's a
Well,
free
thank
event,
you.
so yeah. It's because I'm really over the having a big crowd of people there, and only 10 or 15 people out of 150 of them, only 10 or 15 people are really interested in what you're really giving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm past all of that. Like I don't need the audience.
Right.
I need a crew. I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Makes
need somebody
sense.
just going, yay, you know what I mean? Like, come on, we need to do more than that. We need people to get up and do some work. So this project allows everybody to get up and do some work. Um, Nagusa Adeyemi and I are doing Beijing. That's my godbrother. You know Nagusa Adeyemi, right?
Mm-mm.
The poet. No?
Who?
Oh, girl, I gotta introduce you to Negus Adeyemi.
No, I maybe by face.
Oh, Hunty, I have got to introduce you. You want to talk the
Absolutely.
16th? You need him on the 16th. Yes, yes. So him and I,
Mm.
he's my godfather's baby boy, and
Okay.
so we do a show every November called Beijing Brought Up See, which is a show. It's a cultural concert to celebrate the independence of Barbados
Okay.
in November. So on November 2nd, we'll be doing that here in Brooklyn at the St. Lucia House. Um, we have a lineup of Barbadian artists. Once again, always making sure that we leave a legacy. Here in this diaspora, like they'll pay for artists to come in and perform for shows here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a crap load of Bajan artists right here in New York, and they never tap into us.
Right.
We weren't able to get a stage where we can continue the culture. So
Okay.
again, if it's not a spot provided for you, you make your own. And that's what Nagus and I did. But we didn't just keep it for just ourselves. We've expanded it. So we've had artists come in from London, from Barbados, and
Wow.
to do the show, you know, because that's what we want. We want the community to know that yes, they are those artists that are known across the world, but they are local Barbadian artists here in New York and ultimately in America that you can tap into as well. So we provided the space for that. So November 2nd, 7
Okay.
o'clock, the St. Lucia House, that's where we'll be. Um,
What's the
if anybody's
address to
interested,
St. Lucia House? What's
it's
the address?
438 East 49th Street in
Mm.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
And
And
it's
where can they
$20.
find you? Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook at I am Empress Poetry. You can find me on Instagram at Empress underscore poetry. TikTok, Empress, I have Empress Poetry everywhere. Just type it in. That's me.
Okie dokie. And can you spit a couple more lines? Let me hear a couple more lines before we go.
A couple more lines. So is this my audition for the 16th?
No, it's not. I just want the people to hear Miss Empress the poet.
All right, let's see. Give me that Brooklyn lovin'. That head nod that says you like what you see. Slow lick your lips is a sign of what could be if I take it easy and chill. Blessed with that Brownsville grimace when I show you my flatfoot style. Walk a mile in chimps to get to me. Through snowstorms and foreplay, we stay with smiles. Make me hot like the 90s. Or
Mm-hmm.
starring our own documentaries about our journeys to Weeksville, where self will and determination to satisfy each other is the drive. Slow ride me like the A train. Ha! There we go.
Ooh, we
December
slow
16th.
ride
That's
me
cool.
like
That's
slow ride me like the A train, girl. That's dope. That's a dope line. That's a real dope line.
that's cool. Brooklyn baby.
That's
Invite me on
dope.
the 16th. I'll drop that one for you.
I'm definitely. The tickets are on Eventbrite. It's called the Naughty List, the Mocha Lounge
I've seen the
reunion.
promotions.
We're gonna be promoting for the next 2 months for
Let's
that. It's
go.
gonna be a dope show. But girl, I'm
Well, you
so
know my page is
happy.
your page, so anytime you want to
Absolutely.
tag me, go
Yeah.
for it.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. And I love you, girl. I'm so happy that we got to sit here and I got to know you. I got to know Miss Empress a little bit more.
Oh, sugar.
The people listening got to know Empress a little bit more. I love you so much, girl. I hope you have a good night. And so
Yes.
that's it. Here we go. You have a
I
good
love
night,
you
baby
too.
girl. All right, mama.
Cheers, Queen.
Cheers,
Congratulations.
girl.
Great
Cheers.
show.
Thank you, baby. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight. I'm telling you, I love Empress. Check it out. So now here we go. Thank you for coming tonight. I've had a great time. Donations, Uptown with Mona on Cash App. If you have any interesting story that you want to be in or you want to be interviewed, please hit me up on uptownwithmona@gmail.com. And don't forget December 16th, 2024. That's on a Monday at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street in St. Nicholas Avenue at 7 p.m. in New York City. The Naughty List, the Mocha Lounge reunion, and it's going down. It's an all erotic open, not an open mic, but it's an all erotic show. We're gonna have games, adult question and answer. It's gonna be a dope event. So make sure you get your tickets now because in a minute you won't be able to get in because it'll be a full house. All right. So listen, y'all. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Peace and love, y'all. Have a good one. And that's a wrap for today's show, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in to Uptown with Mona. Be sure to join us again next week for another exciting episode. Until then, I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and I'm saying peace and love. Have a wonderful day.